this is called the A-Force, and it's really our first introduction into that 6-foot ladder category.
Okay.
But we thought, well, let's make it a little different, add some features to it, and what better than have a pair of wheels, right?
Yeah.
Because if you want to move the ladder around, follow it around, put your stuff on it, you don't have to pick everything up.
Yeah, typically I'm grabbing it right here, throwing it
Right.
over my shoulder.
Yeah.
Now I can just wheel it around.
But you don't have to retract the wheels. They retract themselves as soon as you put weight on it. You can retract it manually, but so that it doesn't roll down the hill. But otherwise, it's nice to be able to just roll that with you.
If it's on just a slight slope,
Yeah.
and you stand on this, it's
that
not
won't
going to roll.
No.
Okay.
Once you stand on it, it takes the wheels up.
Right. That's actually a really cool feature. I
Yeah.
like that.
The number one cause of ladder injuries is moving the ladder around and fatigue and shoulder injuries and back
Right.
injuries from moving the ladder on and
Right.
off and carrying it and picking it up. Because we pick it up awkwardly,
Right.
instead of being able to just push it and roll it. So
Right.
if we can make it easier for people to get that ladder where they need to set it up and get on
Right.
it, then we're going to save some injuries that way.
So if you want to lock like this 1 foot, you're going to lock that. Now how do you unlock it by putting your foot? Oh, that's simple.
Yeah.
I like that. So you can lock all four of them.
You can
just
lock
like
all
that.
four of them.
Okay.
The other thing we thought of is, well, you want it easier to use, right? So on a regular step ladder, you have spreader bars over here you have to lift up, right?
Yeah, that.
This one,
pinch my fingers.
You
all
grab
the
the spreader step and pull it towards you. So it's more of a one-handed operation because you can grab your bucket, close the ladder, and then carry it. We also thought, well, let's have a really nice carrying point that's balanced. So we've got this handle right here that you can grab onto instead of the edge of the fiberglass, right?
Yeah, because usually when you're carrying it a lot, that gets uncomfortable.
Exactly.
So that's
and then
actually-
it does have a little lock right there that holds it closed. So you can see this little ridge right here.
So you're just gonna like kind of separate it, slide it
So,
to one side
yeah.
a little bit.
The gravity keeps it on that
Okay, I see.
ridge.
Yeah.
So it doesn't flop open.
So those handles are permanently mounted in there.
Right. You can see them on both sides here.
So those are standard features on this,
the XP.
On the
So,
XP.
So we have the A-Force that doesn't have wheels. It doesn't have the
Right.
workbench. This is the XP, and I'll tell you what the differences are. We also thought, well, let's make it so that you have a portable workbench because you're always looking for a place to put stuff together that's not on the floor. Instead of
Right.
spreading all your tools and equipment out on the floor, having nuts and bolts spread all over that you kick all over the place. It's a great place to work. You can put your laptop up there and do emails.
You could set a paint
make a
bucket
sandwich,
there. Make a sandwich. So this is just telling you don't just, it's not a step.
Right, it's not
You
a
don't want
step. It's
there.
35 pound
Right.
rated right there. So it's good for stuff, but not
Right.
standing on.
Now to just close this feature up, you're just gonna
Yep.
lift that up.
So you lift that up right there. You can see how that
Unsnaps.
snaps right here.
Snaps right in.
Fold that down here, and then it locks closed so that it doesn't blow in the wind if it's
Right.
on the back of the truck. We also have some really nice features on the top cap. Like this is you can lock a gallon of paint in here. We call it the wedge lock. So a gallon of paint would go here, a quart of paint would go here, magnetic tray for nuts and bolts and screws here, speed square right here, carpenter pencil, drill bits go right here. So we really thought the top cap out, places to put tape measures. So this
So you guys, it seems like you guys are thinking about painters when you're creating
we're
these
thinking about
ladders.
everybody because
Yeah.
people use glues and they use
So that's magnetic up there.
right. So we gave you another place to put your drill,
Love
right?
that. Love it.
You can hang it off the side. You can put a hammer here.
Yep.
So we call this the tool holster. There's places for screwdrivers in the top of that. And then of course we make accessories too. So we've got a strap holder.
So you guys, you have more accessories you can put up there and attach
So
to
yeah, we
that?
got the
Oh, you got all kinds of things.
this is we call this the
Like-
loot box. But a lot of plumbers like to put their primer and their glue together and they
Right.
tape it together and so they can throw it right in there. But if you wanted to use it for other things,
That could be
like
a quart of
wing
paint.
nuts and nuts and bolts and things like that, chips and salsa. I don't know why I keep thinking about food today,
I know. That's pretty cool.
so it goes in all
So-
these different ports on the ladder, or they'll actually go on the workbench
on
as
the
well.
workbench. So you can stick
So
a
screwdrivers over here.
screwdrivers right there, like a nut driver.
Right.
Fits in there. It seems like you guys
Yeah,
are thinking about
these don't go all the way through because you don't want your carpenter pencil to fall through.
so
you
that-
don't want your drill bits to fall through.
that. Totally makes sense. So what's this hole right here for?
You could put a hammer there or anything
hammer.
else. Yep.
Yeah, that's probably
Speed
for your
square,
drill.
I told you that, right?
Yeah, speed
Yeah.
square. Man, you're thinking about everything on these ladders. So that's pretty light. With all that stuff on there, that's a pretty light ladder.
We also thought, well, that's a 300-pound rating. Some people want a 375, right?
Right.
So 1A, this is a 1AA right next to it. So there's a couple of differences. This doesn't show, it's not the XP like this is, so it doesn't have the wheels.
The wheels.
But the wheels, you can take these feet off with a Phillips head screwdriver and interchange them.
Right.
So if you don't like wheels or you need to replace
Okay.
feet, they're all replaceable and interchangeable.
So I can take and put wheels on this ladder.
Correct.
Right here.
Right.
Usually where the ladder wears out is it starts to fatigue right here. The fiberglass will eventually break right there. It'll start to
Yeah.
fatigue and break, and then we got to throw our ladders away. Has Little Giant attempted to resolve that?
So one of the things that we've done is we've made a shock absorber right here.
Okay.
So you can see that there's no rivets in that bracing.
Right.
So that gives you some flexibility,
Right.
so it doesn't break. I haven't seen any problems with ever taking the feet out and having damage.
So if your rubber eventually wears out because you're on concrete, you can replace your feet.
Yeah.
So it looks like this brace right here might help with the fatigue in the leg right there.
Right.
So that looks like it's
you actually have movement that
right
for flex.
Yeah.
This has a rung up here at the top,
Uh-huh.
and you know what that rung's good for, right? Holding the label, because you're not really supposed to stand here or here. We took out the temptation rung right here.
Really?
Yeah, but climb on up there. Try that out. Step right on there. Now tuck your toes in a little bit. You notice there's no rung in your shins right here.
Right.
Your feet are cozy.
Yeah.
And because we're using a spreader step instead of just the spreader bars, it makes it more rigid. Can
Right.
you tell?
It's very rigid.
It's very rigid.
Very stable.
Coming down.
I mean, I don't feel
Yep.
uncomfortable
Now,
in that
when
thing
you
at all.
step there, you notice that
That's
clicks.
the click.
Yeah, that's a ground cue because people step off too early. This is the most dangerous rung on the ladder according to
Right.
statistics. 1 in 5 injuries from ladders happen from that rung right there.
So from people stepping off too soon, probably
Exactly.
hurting the knee or ankle or something.
Yep. So if we can prevent 1 in 5, 20% of the injuries from ladders from adding a self-training device,
Right.
because when you hear it, you know you're on the bottom rung, then it's safe to step off, right?
Right.
You don't step off too early that way.
Yeah. Can you put the workbench on this ladder?
Yeah, in fact, it's already set up for it. You can see it's got the port right here, and
Right.
you can just take those out and take the whole thing right out.
Okay, so yeah, it's so easily
It's
attach.
an accessory that's interchangeable,
Right.
so you could add it to this later.
Right, and this right here is your comfort handles right here,
Right.
right there, and that's pre-installed on the ladder. Wow, this is really cool. I love these two ladders.
We're just introducing this new. If you've used the sumo stance, you know that the operation you have a squeeze mechanism up
Right.
here, where this one you just grab like that. Go
Man,
ahead,
I like
try
that.
It's smooth.
Oh, wow. That is pretty dang simple.
Plus, it's aluminum instead of fiberglass,
Right.
so it's a little bit more durable.
So if you're offset,
Right.
yeah, that's actually really
So
cool.
on this side, which is the side you walk up, you'll see that it has these little locks here. So this is at the 0 position for standing on, right? So you have the storage position that's all the way closed, but then that's the first locking position to put that at the correct height, right? Then you're just going to adjust on the side that you need to make longer.
Right.
You got the ice spikes and the nice rotating feet.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Love it. Awesome. Need to have one of those added to my ladder collection.